Good day, everyone. My name is Mark Cabrera, and we're here to talk about finding confidence, particularly in real estate and also in your life and how it can apply. So, where does our confidence come from? I think we talked about a little bit about that at this point, right? Our parents' upbringing, our siblings' influence. Oh my gosh. Believe me, they have a psychology about the oldest kid versus the youngest child, personality wise. I mean, the oldest child tend to be more confident because they get given all the tasks to make sure the rest of them follow, right? So, so by the time you get to the youngest child, the child just follows around and they become adults, and then they're still following around and they couldn't figure out how to, their self-esteem is down because the whole time, the older the older siblings are half the time they don't know what they're doing. They're just gonna comment on anything and put you there. Even I see my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old interact. I mean, I look at my 3-year-old and she's like a bully to him. I have to actually teach, like, calm it down, calm it down. It's your brother is a baby. So that's a big influence. Your friends, the people you hang out with, your schoolmates. I mean, it's a big influence when you become teenagers. Your teachers, right? Because you kind of have a certain amount of respect for them. Our environment, our community. I mean, depending on what community you're in. If you're in a community that all they think is labor, like blue collar label, that's, hey, get out of that area. Otherwise, I mean, I learned when I turned 18, I'll never get into the restaurant business. Not that it's bad. It's just, to me, it's hard labor for little money. I mean, I had to think that through, and I realized, I don't want to. I want to use my mind. It's more powerful, and it's actually more value. Your time is value, because what you don't know, others are willing to pay. What people don't know, those same people, willing to pay thousands of dollars for you to be able to actually help, because you have this certain amount of knowledge. I mean, I get agents that I'm mentoring. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm off the mentor program. How can I stick around? I'm like, no, don't worry. You can sign up on the coaching side, then we'll figure out how to actually get, put you back in. But the point I'm trying to make is, I believe that all of us have the ability to succeed. The difference is how confident we are in our abilities to execute and our abilities to create the vision that you're going to get there. That's the most important part. So, college education, I mean, reprogramming, right? That's one thing that I was telling you. You need to reprogram yourself. Our natural abilities, our acquired skills, our perception of life, our perspective of life. I mean, somebody who's gone through a lot of trauma, I guarantee you, if they made it alive, they're actually much more mature than others that never actually experienced anything in life, or too afraid to actually try anything out. Because the more you fail, the more you get rejected in our business, I guarantee you the more successful you get if you stick around long enough. So I train on mental toughness, right? So confidence, but you still have that mental toughness. My mentor always tells me, you need to have thick skin. I was like, what do you mean thick skin? Yeah, you can be oversensitive. People are always going to be imperfect. People are always going to insult you at some point. People are going to put you down at some point. And guess what? You have to be able to understand where they're coming from and be understanding and patient. I've seen people that they cannot deal with their clients anymore because of how their clients are. But in reality, it's because of who you are. It's because when you're talking to your clients, you're not exuding confidence and that person is stepping all over you. I've seen this time and again. And so when I'm trying to train people, I train them on books to read. That's a homework. Why? Because I can never teach whatever somebody wrote for 300 pages in 1 hour or in 20 minutes. You see? What that understanding, and one thing, another thing. People tell me, oh yeah, I read that book. It's like, how long ago? 20 years ago. I'm like, okay. Well, obviously, you not only didn't learn it, but you already forgot about it. Because whatever you read 20 years ago, I can guarantee you probably forgot 80-90% of it to begin with. And when it comes to this type of book, personal development, you only pick up 10%. of every time you read that book. So that's why I have to read it 15 times. When I'm telling you I read it 15 times, probably even more, because it's called internalizing concepts, internalizing principles. And it's very, very key to your success. When I'm talking to you, my goal, if you're a client, is to get an appointment. Most people try to answer the question on the phone. No, my goal is for you to come into the office or to meet me face to face on Zoom to get to know you better, because I know that if you are a good person that I want to work with, notice that, good person I want to work with, I choose my clients. Because why? I have plenty of them. See, the problem with people, they complain that they have horrible clients, but in reality, they just don't have enough. If you have 30 of those and one of them is actually terrible, guess what? You can drop them, and you know what? Refer them to the client, the agent you don't like, and then the agent you don't like gets to like you and the client actually, and then you make money too on the same time. It's a win-win-win situation, right? But the point I'm trying to make to you is, when you're dealing with your client, right? My objective is to get an appointment. Why? Because I want you to get close to me and get to know me as a person. Because you're not the only one buying. It's all the people you know. Just like that doctor who called me and said, 2 hours, write a contract. Can you? Sure, no problem. 27 grand? No problem. Take it all day. But that's my point, right? Because we're friends. Because I will jump the hoops to actually help him out if he ever needs help. If he needs a friend to talk to, I sit down with him, I talk to him, and just, we play chess together. Fun stuff. Very nice guy, right? But if he doesn't have a good personality, I'm not going to hang out with him, right? But my point is, that's the biggest problem most people have. You got to look at what's positive around you in order to create more positive results as well. So, in which circumstance do we need confidence? Prospecting, initial client consultation, negotiation. I can tell you time and again, if you're not confident in negotiating your transaction, you're not getting anything for your client most of the time. Why? Because the person on the other line can feel that. I feel that. I'm like a hound when I'm negotiating on a transaction. I'm feeling the other person out, and if that person doesn't know what they're doing, I'll work very nicely though. You wouldn't even notice it. The best salespeople are the ones you don't think they're even selling anything to you, right? So I'm influencing them on the phone to get what I need to make sure that my transaction goes through, especially in this market when you have 5, 6, 7, 8 offers. Sometimes I get to talk to a listing agent for half an hour and 45 minutes. Even 1 hour, I've actually had conversation, and I'm one of 5 offers on the property. Why? Because if they like me enough and they know my background, they know my stats. You can pull everybody's stats on Bright MLS. They know I can get the job done. That might make the slightest difference for me to get some hints what direction I need to take to make sure I get the property. And I've done that many times where my clients normally were competing with 15, 20 agents and we get the property. So that helps a lot. Problem solving and settlement when asking for more business. That's where you ask for more business and also get the most reviews. People are happiest and most confident with you when you get them to the settlement table and they're in a happy mood. Guess what? Here, can you write something nice? Oh, here's my laptop. Here's the Facebook review. Do you mind just putting a little nice review for me? This is the time to do it, guys. Okay? People don't do enough of this. I even have a survey at settlement to make sure that I did a good job. Of course, when I do a lousy job, maybe the survey never show up. But if I did a great job, of course, all not going to be perfect. But I definitely do everything the best way I can to make sure our clients are happy. So how do we gain our confidence? Well, one of them is physical, right? If you're not happy with the way you look and the way you feel and the way your energy level is, it'll show up on your confidence when you're talking to people. So one thing I can tell you, when I was 20 pounds to 24 pounds, I was like 184 pounds in January. I dropped like 20 pounds in June or July, and I'm actually like 162 today. Because I wanted to make sure that I feel good about myself. Not Number one. Number two, I want to make sure that I'm healthy because, we all are aging, and you don't want to actually just have health problems. And next thing you know, half the time you're actually in the doctor's office. So I try my best to make sure that I do my exercise. I do I was joking around with one of my mentees because he's a personal trainer also. Like I have 3 personal trainers for some reason and 4 IT guys. So one of my personal trainers, I said to him, you know what? I can't make it to the gym, so I'm just going to do 20 push-ups every morning. And in the beginning, I couldn't get it going. But now it's been 3 weeks and I've been doing push-ups, 20 push-ups, not even a minute, right? But then if you add that up in a year and you do 365, how many push-ups is that? A lot. See, people don't realize this is exactly how we succeed in this business. You do little increments that you don't realize. And I heard this from one of the speakers, I guess, on YouTube. The guy says, yeah, you might be brushing your teeth twice a day and you miss one brushing your teeth, it not make a difference. But if you start missing more and more, I guarantee you when you get to your dentist, you're going to have issues with your cavities or other issues with your teeth. That's the same thing in real estate, right? You make one prospecting call, you don't make a prospecting call in one day, it doesn't make much difference. But if you actually miss more and more days that you're not prospecting, eventually you're not going to have a check to pick up at the end of the month or the end of the next month or the next month after that to pay your bills. And then guess what? You take a full-time job. And you know what full-time job to me is? It's fulfilling someone else's dream. Okay? All of us have this mentality when we're at a job, oh, I hate this. I really want to go on my own, do my own thing. And then when you do your own thing, you don't actually not disciplined enough to do it for yourself. You rather do it for someone else. Why? Because we're programmed that way. Yes. Reprogram your mind, the whole world changes. Healthy lifestyle is another thing, right? Having enough sleep. Oh my gosh, this is so important. Your brain doesn't function very well and you forget half the things that you have to say or you want to convey to someone when you don't get enough sleep. And you know this, right? And the proper diet. I met a personal trainer. And what she said to me is she's got an 8-pack. Whew, nice. I thought, how do you get an 8-pack like that? Oh, it's all on your diet, 80% of it. I was like, what? 80% of it? It's yeah, it's 80% on your diet. So if you know exactly how to eat good food and the right food, you don't have to go to the gym as much. I haven't gone to the gym and I got a 6-pack. And people tell me oh my gosh, I've been going to the gym and I don't know how to get a 6-pack. Well, you know what? Your 6-pack is always there. The only question is layered with fat, right? So if you do reduce the amount of fat you're intaking, then you don't have to actually go to the gym as much and you get the results that you're looking for. Now you do, of course, some cardio to actually keep your heart going so you'll be healthy. But that's one part, right? And then personal development, mentally, spiritually, sleep again, your mind. Personal development seminars like this. I mean, you guys attending this actually is a miracle because, lately I haven't been getting a lot of people showing up here. And I don't understand. It's it doesn't cost you anything but education and learning of something that's different than what you learn everywhere. If you notice, have I talked about anything on how to write a listing or a contract? No. I talk about what makes Michael Jordan different than the rest of the basketball players that you never hear of in the professional basketball field. It's their confidence. It's their attitude. It's their personalities, their behaviors. It's their decision-making last minute. It's the way they move around the court, right? That's what makes great basketball players because they're confident that they're going to get that basket each and every time, even if it's in the last minute. I'm just giving you that one example. You can see that all across the sports. But why not here? It's no different. My sport here is how to make $1 million in 1 year. That's my sport. Okay? I hope that you pick up that sport too. And then not only that, take 14 weeks of vacation. That's the best sport. 3.5 months taking vacation. I took about 14 weeks of vacation. Actually, by next week will be 14 weeks. And I'm actually up there in the numbers, right? Why not? Why not? You can do what you want and make the kind of income you want. So, emotionally, balancing the 5 areas of your life. We don't pay attention enough to this. One area of your life is messed up, let's say your health or your or your relationship, or your spiritual side of it, or your financial side of it. One of those balancing in your life, one of them is messed up, everything is messed up. You have to maintain a balance. You cannot become a workaholic and expect to have relationships, real ones, okay? Not the ones that you have at work. Okay. Taking periodic vacation. Oh, but that's one of the things I advocate. There was one agent for 6 months, never sold a single house, spent $3,000 and went to every single training of have to offer. Joined in January with me, sold 9 houses already, and taken 2 months of vacation this year. Because I told him, I said, you know what? You want to make a lot of money? Take a lot of vacation. And she's like, are you serious, Mark? I was like, yeah, take a lot of vacation. You know why? Because when you go on vacation, it clears your mind. You come back happier, right? And then you're really, really working. And then when you're actually about to go on vacation, you become more efficient because there's a deadline, right? So you get more things done and you take vacations, the best thing in the world. People don't realize it because you burn out if you work every day, 7 days a week like I used to. That's exactly what was happening to me. I was burning out. I was making a lot of money, but I was burning out. So I learned to actually take the most vacation and make the most money at the same time. And why not? That 92 transaction working on myself by myself, whereas I was working with my mentor before, that one I was telling you in 2005, the 92 transaction was made with 9 weeks of vacation that year. 9 weeks of vacation is over 2 months, guys. But why does it work that way? I don't know. Your brain actually functions better when you're rested, right? So take care of your brain because that's the one that's actually creating that scenario for you, income. How do we maintain confidence? Repetition of activities which create the habit. Like I was telling you before, right? 20 push-ups a day times 365 days in a year, that's a lot of push-ups, right? Habit which creates consistency. So when you get into the habit in the beginning, it takes about 3 weeks to a month. But once you're making your phone calls, at least 5 calls a day for crying out loud. That's why I tell people, you want to go part-time in this business? Focus on one thing, prospecting. You want to go full-time in this business? Spend 2 hours every day on prospecting. Okay? And everything else will fall into place. When I say prospecting, reaching out to people, not by email, not by text, by phone call or face-to-face or Zoom. Or appointments. I was sitting down with one of the most successful brokers that I know of, and I was sitting down with him on a party one time. He said, the best agents I've seen are the ones who meet the most people face-to-face. I told him I agree. I face-to-face with people. It's not even real estate related. Just because I know if I face-to-face with that person and that person feels good about me, he'll refer me a client. And they do. So, consistency which produces results over time. It's called the flywheel effect. Like the 200 to 365 a year. It's a flywheel. What am I trying to accomplish there? Well, I'm trying to build up my whole body strength in a small incremental time because I don't have much time to exercise, right? And results that produce accomplishments. So, over time, you will see your results. So, if you're actually making your calls right now, 20 calls, let's say a day, or 25 calls a day, like this agent that I had, after 3 months, all of a sudden, his business takes off, right? At the end of the year, when he looks back and he says, wow, this is what I've accomplished. Because it adds up. And then the following year, now it's bigger. Why? Because his pool of people that he sold a house to now are all walking billboards. They have experience with him now that they can say, hey, you know what? You need to work with this person because I bought a house with this person and he's excellent, right? So accomplishments that produces affirmation, and that's what you're getting from your clients. And eliminating excuses, words that negate confidence, such as, if only I got certified, if only I got my license before the market, took off, because now I can't sell any house. But I can do other things. There's a lot of buts actually, and there's a lot of because my cousin actually decided to yell and scream at me the other day. That's why I couldn't sell houses today. That's why I couldn't make my prospecting call. And when the time comes that I get this and this and this, or I can take 5 weeks of vacation, that's when I'm going to actually start working. These words are the most terrible words in the dictionary of success, because these words are the ones that we use a lot. And I've actually had agents come up to me. They're like, "Oh, it's because I couldn't make the meeting because I stayed up really late." And I'm like an excuse. It's like, man, I've been to meetings on a Zoom when I haven't had any sleep at all, and I have to hold my class at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning, and we came home at 6 a.m. that morning from whatever place we've been to, and at 7 a.m. I'm game on. It's like, wash my face with it, fix up my hair, right? I mean, I'm probably still in my pajamas and like, the game time, right? It's a Zoom, for crying out loud. And people give me excuses all the time. I just sit there like, okay, your success in this business is about eliminating excuses, because you're going to set up a plan, you're going to execute that plan, and the income is naturally going to come in if you run out of excuses. That's why I tell my agents before, is like, so as a broker, you want me to make this check out to excuses, see if you can cash it? I mean, just a try, because that's all you're giving me at this point. You haven't been showing up to trainings, you haven't been showing up to coaching, you haven't been showing up to anything, and you expect to succeed in this business. So that's basically boils down to is that. 5 steps to become confident. Identify the source of your lack of confidence. And by the way, when you do identify that, get rid of those people. You don't need them. I mean, I'm saying get rid of them, like, minimize them. That doesn't mean, if it's the closest person to you, I mean, talk about something else, talk about the weather or something. I don't know. Acknowledge the reason behind the lack of confidence, right? See, you cannot solve something that you don't recognize. So you have to acknowledge that it's there, okay? That's the number one thing to finding solutions. That's part of problem solving. You need to identify the problem in order for you to solve the problem. So once you have identified the source and you identify why this person is going through it, then the next step is build your confidence through positive affirmations. There's a YouTube video here. I wish I can show you. I don't know if there's a way for us to turn it on. It's kind of funny, but when we finish, I'll try to get it turned on. Eliminate excuse words that prevent you from being confident. Those excuse words that I was telling you, that's actually like the opposite of what you're trying to do each time you use those words. And accept the fact that you will make mistakes and take persistent action. That's it. This is what it's all about. So there's a Samuel J. Johnson here that actually gave a quote: self-confidence is the first requisite to great undertakings. So anything that you do that would be significant and you become successful at, I guarantee you've worked on your confidence to get there, whatever it is. Okay? There you go. You gotta see this, guys.
Look, I can be a shark. Now my whole house is great. I can do anything good. I like my school. I like anything. I like my dad. I like my cousins. I like my aunts. I like my Allisons. I like my moms. I like my sisters. I like my dad. I like my hair. I like my haircuts. I like my pajamas. I like my stuff. I like my rooms. I like my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah. I can do anything.
Morning affirmation, huh? That's so that's what I was talking about, right? I mean, even as a little kid, you see? Learning to be confident, right? That's what it's all about. So, well, thank you again for attending this course. Hopefully it helped you. Like I said, one little information sometimes makes a huge difference in your career, and I've seen it. And I'm giving back because I've been doing this for a long time, sold a lot of houses, and it feels good to actually be able to see others grow.